Hello and welcome to another match preview on Football Talk Podcast. My name is Ozzy and I'm the host for today's show. The Europa League is back and Liverpool find themselves pinned against Italian side Atalanta in the quarter-finals. A very exciting proposition and a different focus for Liverpool, as drawing against Manchester United over the weekend was a bit of a disappointing result, to be fair. So this will be a nice distraction to regain some confidence and some form going into this game, and hopefully we can continue our quest to win some more silverware this season. So let's analyze our opponents and see how they've done so far this season, and also highlight some of their key players. So after that, I'll then present the predicted lineups and then give you my score predictions. So let's begin with Atalanta. They're currently 6th in the Serie A, and they have not had a good run of games in recent weeks, to be fair. In the last 5 games, they've suffered 3 defeats, 1 draw and 1 win. The last fixture in Serie A was a defeat in the hands of Cagliari, who won the game 2-1. But their record all season has been a bit of a mixed bag. 15 wins, 5 draws and 10 defeats. So this shows me that they're some sort of an end-to-end team that could play to our hands. So defensively not great, but always on an attacking forefront. So expect to see a lot of space within the sort of midfield, I would say. In terms of their Europa League campaign, they knocked out Sporting in the last round, which wasn't an easy task, as it's also a team managed by Ruben Amorim, who has reportedly agreed to become the next Liverpool manager, which we will discuss in more detail in another show. But in terms of the squad, there are some players that we will be aware of and some other players that we will need to make sure that they do not have any influence in this game whatsoever. So the first player that we can discuss is this fella here, Kolasinac, who is a strong and powerful left back who we all know used to play for Arsenal, but nowadays he's actually playing in a more of a central role. So it'll be interesting to see how he fits in tactically. And then the next player is Durun, a very highly regarded Dutch midfielder who's also been linked with a move to the Premier League. So definitely one to look out for. Plays a more of a defensive role, but has a good variation of passing on him. And the next player, Zabacosta, a flying wing back who made a huge impression in the last Euros for the Italian national team. And then we also have Bacca, a left-sided wing back who has great delivery. So we need to make sure that we defend very well against him, stay tight, and reduce his involvement in the game. And then this player here, the Catalara, a player regarded as a future star for the Belgium national team. He's currently on loan from AC Milan, as has the highest number of assists for the team with 6 to his name. And the next player is very, very highly regarded. I'm sure a lot of us are aware of him. Is Koopmeiners, another very, very top midfielder in Serie A. He's attracting a lot of interest across Europe. An attacking Dutch midfielder who has an eye for goal. He's actually notched up 11 goals in the league and is a top scorer at the club. And another player which I'm sure we're familiar with is Lookman. The English winger has really found his form and I guess his home at Atalanta, and has produced some eye-catching performances this season with 9 goals and 4 assists in all competitions. And then we've got Scamacca, who we very briefly saw last season. He was at West Ham, but unfortunately wasn't able to make a huge impression in the Premier League. Nevertheless, he's a lethal striker in front of goal. He's got 11 goals and 3 assists so far this season. So a number of top players in this team. I don't think we should disregard Atalanta. I think a lot of people are expecting a walk in the park. I think they're going to be a tricky outfit altogether. So that's some of the players that I feel like will be players that we need to be wary of and make sure, they don't have any sort of involvement or influence in the game whatsoever. So let's go through the team news. We'll start with the home team, and that is Liverpool. So Trent, Jota, and Alisson are back in trading. In fact, so is Stefan Bajcetic. Now, you're probably thinking, what's he talking about? I can't believe it. Well, if you don't believe me, here's some footage for you guys. So a very positive side there. I've seen the return of these 4 players in training. But having said that, it still remains to be seen if they will be involved in this fixture. They might be on the bench, but I don't expect any of them to start. So, nevertheless, a good side. We've got some good players returning to the squad, and it's needed with our upcoming fixtures in the league, but also in the Europa League as well. In terms of other news, Matip, Ben Doak, and Thiago are long-term casualties. As I mentioned, good news regarding Bajtic, who is back in training and should be available in the squad very, very soon. Probably not for this one, but definitely for the upcoming fixtures. Now, in terms of Atalanta, Scalvini is the only player missing for this game due to injury. So, other than that, Atalanta manager Casperini has a full squad to choose from. So, yeah, must be nice because we've got quite a few injuries. So, that's the team news there. So, not too much to report. What we can do now is present the predicted lineup. So, let me share the graphics with you guys. So here we go. So we'll start with the away team first. So we'll do LFC versus Atalanta. I think the ABC. I know it sounds that's what they call the Atalanta BC. So let's do their predicted lineup. So in terms of in goal, it will be for me Musso, who's normally their first choice keeper. So we'll put him in goal. Argentine player there. And then in terms of the back three, so I mentioned earlier on. Let me flip this because it's a bit confusing for me. Yep. Let me put him back in there. Musso. So as I mentioned earlier, Kolasinac actually plays more centrally nowadays. So for me, he'll be playing as a centre back, which is quite interesting. I think maybe on the basis that of his sort of distribution. Obviously, he's quite a tall player, fairly built as well, so powerful around the box. But I feel like his distribution is probably the reason why he gets selected in that position. So that's an interesting one. And then alongside him on the left side is Gimsti, who is a left back by trade, but is playing as a left-sided centre back nowadays. So Jim Mystery, if he's there, there we go, of Albanian descent there. And on the right side, it will be Toloi. There we go. So that is the back three. Why have I got this player up top? He's not a striker, he's a goalkeeper. So in terms of the double pivot, it will be Durun, who I mentioned earlier on. And as you can see, multi functional player, can play centre mid, defensive mid, can even play centre back. So definitely a key player for this Atalanta team. And then you've got Edison alongside him. There we go. Who's probably a bit more attack minded, more of the creative spark in the Atalanta team. And then you've got let's do the left wing back. So Bacosta will be there. And then on the right side, it will be Hatebo. So I'll put him there. Hatebo, there he is. So you're very attack-minded fullback there. And in terms of slightly different shape, this one, it's not 3-4-2-1. Let's see if I can edit it quickly. Unable to do so, but I'll switch it over once I've added the player. So it'll be Coop Miners. He will be the number 10, I would say. And then we've got Lookman. And I would say Skamaka. But it will not be in this kind of shape. It will be Skamaka. Looks very different in that picture, to be fair. Lookman alongside him. And this will be the formation. So, yeah. These guys won't be playing as right wingers. They'll be wing backs. And then you've got Cook Miners as a number 10. So obviously he's going to be the key in terms of creativity, but he's a great player in terms of shooting as well. So he will be the one that will be notching up the goal. Has a free roll, so he will be ghosting between the lines. So that's definitely a player we need to make sure we reduce his involvement. And yeah, mark time on him. So that would be Endo or whoever's playing as a number 6. That would be their role to make sure that they're not there on the half turn and trying to make things happen. So definitely interesting player to look out for. Sabacosta is a right-footed left wing back, so definitely someone we got to make sure we doesn't cut in as much and make sure we take him on the byline and yeah, stay tight on him as well. Darun and Edison are more compact, so they will make sure that they protect the back line. So in terms of the team, it's an interesting one. Lookman as well. Lookman's traditionally plays as a winger, but it will be playing more of a free role in this team. So yeah, interesting team. Excited about this team because I haven't seen them much this season, but I know some of the players in the lineup, so we're interested to see how they perform. A couple of them have been linked to Liverpool in the past, so the likes of Darun, Coop Miners as well. Shout out to Double D. I did a preview show him a couple of months ago, and he mentioned Coop Miners as a player that he rates, and possibly Liverpool as well. We were linked to a summer move last year. We end up getting Szoboszlai instead. So definitely a profile that I'm sure a lot of clubs will be interested in the summer. And because he's their top scorer as well, he's definitely in the limelight in terms of the success at Atalanta this season. So yeah, so this is my predicted lineup. Let me know what you think in the comments. Is there any players that you feel like you fear, or maybe I've missed out a player? Maybe there's someone else that might surprise us from the Atalanta team. Drop a comment. Love to hear from you guys. So we'll stop sharing this graphic and then we'll present the lineup for Liverpool. So here you go. So let me just write LFC versus ABC. I'm not just making it up. It's Atalanta BC. And predicted lineup, predicted Liverpool 11. So in terms of formation, we all know what formation we play, guys. We play a 4-3-3. But I like to flip the players, so it's a bit more easy for me to pick the players. So as I showed you earlier on, Alisson is back in training. Would he be selected for this game? I don't think he will. I don't think it will be risked for this game. However, my guess would be that he plays against Crystal Palace this weekend in the Premier League. So for me, Kelleher will continue to stay in goal. And in terms of the back four, Van Dijk will start this fixture. It is an important tie, so we need to try and get a solid home win. And so when it's the second leg, we don't have to play the strongest outfit that we can present. So hopefully get the job done here. And yeah, take it easy in the second leg. I say that, but then Klopp always goes with the strongest lineup in the second leg. So hopefully he's learned his lesson from the last fixture, because that second leg against Sparta Prague was not helpful. We faced Manchester United that we can end up losing as well. So yeah, just something to keep in mind for Jurgen Klopp. In terms of his partner in crime, it will be, for me, Konate. I'm not picking Konate just because Kwanzaa made the error in the last fixture against Manchester United. I personally would have started Konate in the last fixture, but I feel like this would be the perfect game for him to get back into the team. And against a team that are playing two strikers as well, we need to have our centre-backs on top of their game. So I think Van Dijk and Konate are the best pairings in the club. So that's why I've gone for a strong defensive pair. Now, in terms of the full-back, I'm sticking with Robertson. I thought in the last couple of games, he's been quite positive, finding his form slowly, which is great to see. So I'd play him in this fixture as well. And instead of Conor Bradley, I'm going for Joe Gomez. I think the threat of Zappacosta attacking on their left-hand side as a left wing back, I think it would be quite wise to have Joe Gomez on the right side to sort of block any attacks that come through. And I think we might need to be wary of Coop Miners, who likes to drift in those channels as well. So Joe Gomez, for me, would be a more suited right back for this fixture. And so that's my back four. In terms of the midfield, I'm going all guns blazing. So for me, Endo starts in this fixture. Didn't have the best of games in the last one, but nevertheless has been very consistent whenever he's played for Liverpool. And I'm going to go with Szoboszlai on the left side, number 8 row, and McAllister on the right side. And then up top, I'm going with Darwin Núñez. Some may select Cody Gakpo, which is a fair choice, I would guess, because Gakpo, whenever he's come on, especially the last couple of games, he's looked more positive. He's got a bit more aggression and urgency in his play. But I'm still going to stick with Núñez. I think he needs to find that confidence again. He's been slightly off the rails in terms of his recent performances, where I don't think he's been involved in much of the build-up play, but at the same time, I think his decision-making has let him down as well. There were plenty of times where the final pass was on and he's either carried it for too long or he's missed a chance and he's given the wrong pass away. So he needs to find that rhythm again. And once he does, it's going to be so key in terms of how our season unfolds. So for me, I'm going to stick with Darwin Núñez, but have Gakpo potentially coming on for the remainder of the second half, so like the last half an hour. And then I'm starting with Salah. I would just say maybe Elliott deserves the game because of his great performance, but give Salah an hour as well. And hopefully he gets some score sheet, gets some confidence, and then we can start rotating the squad a bit more. And I'm starting with Luis Diaz. Jota is available, but I wouldn't risk Jota straight away. He's just come back from a knee injury. So for me, he needs to be slowly embedded to the team, make a couple of substitute appearances, and then take it from there. So that is my lineup. Drop a comment and let me know what you guys think. Have I gone too strong? Because I know that's what Klopp has been accused of, but I'm going in terms of his track record this season. And I feel like for this first leg, we will go very strong, try and get the win at Anfield, and then take a handsome lead into Atalanta next week or the next leg. So yeah, drop a comment, let me know what you guys think. That is my lineup there. And now in terms of my score prediction, I'm going for a home win, of course. The scoreline I'm going for is 3-0 to Liverpool. I believe we'll have too much in our attack for Atalanta. So I'm going for Mohamed Salah, Darwin Núñez, and McAllister on the score sheet. So that's my match preview, guys. And that concludes the show for tonight. So thank you to everyone for tuning in. If you haven't already, please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Next show will be on Thursday, as I'll be doing a live watch along. So feel free to join the show, send your comments in the live chat, and then later on in the same evening, we'll do the match reaction around 11 p.m. UK time. So lots of content coming your way. So take care, everyone. Stay safe. Eid Mubarak to all my Muslim followers for tomorrow. And I hope to speak to you all very, very soon. Goodbye.